What's going on, guys? My name is Yellow S2K and welcome to some MX vs ATV REFLEX. We're going to be checking out Red Bud with Travis Pastrana with his two-stroke, the full setup that's going to be out there at the Motocross the Nations. Hopefully they stick with the two-stroke thing, but currently that's the plan. And what better combo in the best arcade motocross game than a Travis Pastrana two-stroke Red Bud in prep for the Motocross the Nations. So here we are. Let's jump into track and see what it's like on a two-stroke on a really gnarly track. All right, here we go. Red Bud, Travis Pastrana, two-stroke, set up like the Motocross the Nations. I'm just so pumped. It's cool that this combo is available to hop on and just play around with. I remember this track being insanely rough. Look at that rut. And I know the leap is huge, so we might have trouble clearing the leap, but either way we'll have fun. These two-strokes are also a little weird to whip sometimes. Oh, that's big. They're a little weird to whip, so I won't be able to throw these like big fat whips like I would on the 450, but it's kind of wonky. But it's still a fun combo. How cool is that? Two strokes, Motocross the Nations, Pastrana coming back, doing some racing. It's for Puerto Rico. It's like, you know, can't hate on it too much, right? Like, I actually never used to be a big Pastrana fan. I was never huge into him back when I was, you know, 13, whatever, however old I was. Watching him at X Games and all that. He seemed like a goody two-shoes, almost too much. I rooted for other people. I never was a hater. But I just rooted for other people. And it really changed my mind. I actually have a few Travis Pastrana experiences. I may as well just BS and share them with you right now, but just keep an eye on how rough this track is. It's gnarly. It's going to be hard for me to keep concentration and tell a story, but I always like doing these videos live, so it is what it is. The gameplay might not be amazing, but it'll be fun nonetheless. I started recording this video a little bit ago, and I started telling stories, and then I realized I forgot one. And I just really needed to get my shit together to realize, wow, I've actually been around Travis Pastrana a lot and had some good conversations with him. It's just kind of cool, right? The first time I was around Travis Pastrana was at the Copper Mountain Supermoto. I'd have to look up the year. I really don't know. I was pretty young. And it's a shame Supermoto, damn, the leap is huge. It didn't go down, but we'll have to go way outside. But anyway, the Copper Mountain Supermoto. Now this is at a ski resort in Colorado. And just a really picturesque location for a supermoto. Just the ski slope in the background, just surrounded by mountains, and just a really cool supermoto track in front of us. We were on the fence. It was my whole family. You know, we were standing on the fence, and right by this man-made triple. Just metal ramps, and I'd have to see a picture of it again to really know exactly what it looked like. But it was a man-made triple. And Travis Pastrana comes up to it and breaks his chain before it. At some point right there, he breaks his chain and then goes over the bars and just wads himself right in front of us. Again, like 25 feet away. It was just nuts. I mean, he just really, really went down hard. I think he injured himself in that crash, but you know, I'm not going to look it up, and it's going to be hard to remember. But he wadded and had to get hauled away in a cart, and you know, I think he was holding his arm, and just not a good situation. But that was my first encounter with Travis Pastrana. And then after that, the next one really, the most memorable, the coolest one really in my eyes was at the Steamboat Rally. It was a Rally America round in Colorado. Again, Steamboat, some of you guys probably heard of it. Again, another kind of ski resort near Aspen, Colorado. And I went with my dad. It was a really great weekend going out and just watching some rally. You know, the best thing ever. Rally is incredible, right? And Travis Pastrana broke his collarbone. I think it was from something he did before the race. And then it was just so bad on the second day. I think he ended up actually getting a penalty in the chicane. And he also was just not doing good. He was trying to push through the pain, as you can imagine Travis Pastrana doing. So he sat out on the second day, or the last day, you know, it was one of the later days. That leap is huge. And he sat out and he decided to watch. So he went to one of the spectator areas, just, you know, a little area where there was like a tiny bit of parking off in a field, and then just standing in the trees waiting for the rally cars to come by. And no one was talking to him. And I was young. I was maybe 16, something like that. So I was like, dude, Travis Pastrana. And I went up to him and talked. And, you know, most of the time when you talk to somebody that's famous, it ends up being just, you know, we all say we've talked to some of these people and whatnot, but most of those situations, it's like, hey, how are you doing? Hi, nice to meet you. Like, and then maybe like one little question, a quick conversation, right? Very quick. Oh, that double's hard to clear. Very quick conversation, but this ended up being like an hour conversation, maybe 45 minutes, but a long conversation. He was just chilling, and I was a young kid, very, very into rally. I did my homework. I knew all the little details and specs of different things, and was able to ask him about different ways to handle the car and throw it into a corner, and I was just a super fan of rally. And I wasn't a big fan of Travis Pastrana at the time, but he was the nicest guy ever. You know, he's sitting there probably in pain. Some 16-year-old kid's just bugging him. But he talked for 45 minutes, whatever it was, and it was just really cool. It really changed my mind. He was just the nicest guy ever, and for somebody that was just super into rally, he's out there racing rally. He's a big name. It was just really cool for him to just chat for that long with me about all the different stuff, and just really cool. It really changed my perspective on Pastrana, because he was just so nice. It's like, how can you hate on somebody that's that nice? And I think that's what everyone seems to say about him. That's where I stopped this video when I was recording this the first time. And I was like, well, that's, you know, pretty cool. I've seen Travis Pastrana those times. And then I realized, holy shit, I saw Travis Pastrana in June. This June. So, a handful of months ago. Crazy. He raced the Pikes Peak Hill Climb. And I've actually been around him when he raced the hill climb the last, like, years ago. It was him and Tanner Faust that both were racing it the same year, and I saw him then. But I'm official media, and I'm a photographer for that event. And so I spent a whole week on the mountain at Pikes Peak for practice days, qualifying, and the race. And I was around Travis Pastrana a whole bunch. I've got cameras all up in his face. I might even put something on the screen. Not that many people care.
We have 4 people up there.
I actually was with my brother on a practice day. Everybody parks in the same pits. And I was with my brother, and we were actually talking to Reese Millen, which is kind of cool to be able to say, a legend. And Pastrana walks by, so we kind of finish our conversation with Millen and go over and just have a quick conversation with Pastrana. Just to, hey, how's it going? How's the mountain? How you doing? How's the car? Because they're racing Porsche GT4 Club Sports, which is the Porsche Cayman, you know, that smaller mid-engine, small sports car platform. But it's a GT4, which is like a road-going, more stripped out, lighter weight version. But then it's also the Club Sport, which has the cage, and it's just a full-blown race car. So, and it's a spec series, so they're doing, you know, a bunch of those cars. It's the first time Pikes Peak has ever had like a spec series where everybody races the same car. Spec is just basically everybody's in the same thing, same equipment. I believe they boil it down to tires. To, you know, you can't make any modifications. There's very strict rules. It's pretty cool. It's all about the driver, right? So anyway, that's just unnecessary background, but cool nonetheless. And we were able to just talk to him about the car, talk to him about what it's like and how different it is, obviously being in that type of car and a Porsche versus some of the Subarus, obviously, that he's been driving for all these years. And again, just a quick conversation. So I felt like I couldn't, like, what better reason to tell those stories than in a platform like this, where we're just BSing, checking out Redbud on a 2-stroke as Pastrana. So it's kind of cool. I've been around him a decent bit and actually had proper time talking to him, even though I was a young guy. But yeah, Pastrana, always been insanely nice, and he turned somebody that was really not like a big fan, just whatever, into like, wow, you can't hate on this guy, you know? He's out there living his dream, and he's an extremely nice, respectful dude. So just, it is what it is. those are my stories. But Redbud, Motocross the Nations. It would be insane if they go, say they don't even ride 2 strokes and they go to ride 4 strokes. That would be so crazy if they made it into that, like, A main, into the big show. I don't think they will. That'll be impossible on 2 strokes as far as I'm concerned. Unless something really weird happens, but I think it's going to be impossible, and I think that's what people are saying. People are guessing that they're not going to make it. It's just not going to happen, right? If they ride 4 strokes, I still don't think they would, but you never know. It's Ryan Sipes, Kevin Windham, and Travis Pastrana. So if they ride 4 strokes, they decide to just go full bore. Who knows? They might make it and be in the very back. I wouldn't think they would, but, you know, how cool would that be? How cool would that be to see a whole nother group of basically U.S. riders, even though they're representing Puerto Rico, to see them out there and competing alongside Tomac, Barsha, and Plessinger, which is our USA team. Just really, really cool. Pretty interesting that they're doing it. Again, I think most people are predicting that they won't make it into that actual, that Fast 40. That's not really what it would be called from across the nations because of the multiple races, but into that top group to be able to race in those main races. So, pretty cool. And in this game, shit, we need to get to the outside. Come on, the Broncos lead. I don't know if we can do this. I don't think we can go backwards. Yeah, this game's so finicky with it. The leap's giant. Very, very huge. See if we get another lap. I might not be able to click that right now, just BSing, but either way, a 2-stroke on this track is going to be crazy because, dude, those guys are going to have to huck the leap. Shit, got upside down. Those guys are going to have to huck the leap on those bikes. Not that they can't do it. I mean, some guys, like one guy tries it on a 250 every year, the last few years, it seems like. I believe it was like Faulkner. I mean, they ended up clearing it, but there's been years where it's been too big and they couldn't clear it on 250Fs. And that's always a drag. It's like one guy tries and it just doesn't happen, you know? So that would be a drag if they couldn't clear it, and that put them at a huge disadvantage lap time-wise to get into the show and things like that. So anyway, I'm just kind of thinking about it. Look how deep that rut is. This track is so much fun, but it's hard. This is not an easy custom track. Obviously, I was just blabbing the whole time and not like hardcore, like, okay, time to kill it. Like, try to put in amazing laps. But dude, look how rough this is. That is so rough for a track that's made by somebody and put into Reflex. Definitely does not make it easy, but how cool that this is actually in Reflex. Tracks like this. Again, it just blows my mind. After playing all the new games, I just can't believe that the custom tracks are this good. It really puts into perspective kind of motocross games that we've been playing recently and makes you realize this is a lot better than I thought it was. Let's see if we can finish this strong. I just need to get through the corner before Rocco's leap cleanly. That's my problem. Oh, I've launched that a few times. That's a scrub hill. I should just be scrubbing it, but I really like to clear the leap, but man, I gotta just not goon through that corner before it, which is coming up. Now, the configuration, the newer configuration is a little bit different, and I assume they'll keep the configuration for Nations, but instead of turning here and then hitting the leap, you actually go a little bit farther and you do what they're calling a hockey stick. Like that was MX. This is our best chance. Come on, come on. Yes, yes, yes. No, no. Oh, we cleared it. We cleared it. Big hop. That was probably realistic to what's going to happen if they're riding 2 strokes. There's definitely going to be a case when they hit the leap. Oh, little cut there. Pretty ugly. But anyway, guys, figured I would blab to you a couple random stories and just have some fun with a fun combination. Hopefully you guys are going to keep up with the Motocross of Nations. One of the coolest races ever. I got to see the Motocross of Nations in Lakewood when it was in Colorado, Thunder Valley. And it was an incredible experience. If you can get out to Redbud, make sure you do. It's not like a normal national. It's a very, very special event. And that's almost a whole nother story. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And until next time, I will talk to you later. Peace out.